It is the time. There was a time when people said, "I need my space," and they usually meant they needed more breathing room. Well, now the phrase "my space" refers to something totally different.
Yeah, now when someone says MySpace, they are usually referring to the fastest growing website on record. It's the 15th most popular website out there, and its subscribers have tripled in the past year alone. Here to talk about this social online network is Dr. Audrey Gusky from Duquesne University. We call it Consumer Tuesday. Audrey, what's on tap this morning?
Good morning, John. Well, it's very interesting. We wanted to look at MySpace. It's a very active, as you had mentioned, website. You've got 85 million subscribers, which is absolutely huge. It has tripled over the past year, and Rupert Murdoch paid $1.3 billion for the parent company. So it shows the power of this. And what it really is, it's an electronic diary. Particularly young people can express themselves through pictures and music and videos and various things like that. In the olden days, when people used to date, they would meet someone at a dance and exchange phone numbers. Now they exchange their address on their MySpace site. And it's in a sense really speed dating because it allows people to get to know each other very, very quickly.
And Audrey, every time we bring up this website, there's always this safety concern issue. A lot of people posting pictures and information that can be used against them, or for some reason they think is going to stay private, when really that usually is not the case, correct?
That's exactly right, Sunny. What happens is people assume that it's a very private space because you're talking intimately one-on-one with one individual, but really in reality it's open to the entire world. And I think what young people need to be aware of is it's also allowing universities and employers to get on a website. So a lot of times students don't get into a good university, they don't get the job that they wanted, they really aren't getting on a sports team, and so you need to be very, very aware that it is really open to the general public. And there are some tips we should probably look at regarding what you need to do. First of all, you don't want to post any personal information. Once again, you have to assume that everyone can read it. Assume that your mother is going to be reading it. So don't give any particular information. Also, don't share your particular habits, where you work, and what basically you're doing overall. You want to also don't add any strangers to your friends list. They found that 14% of all young people actually meet someone that they've only met online. That's very, very frightening. You've got 6,000 cases of online predatory issues, and so you want to be very careful with that. You also don't want to mislead people about your age. You don't want to tell them you're older or younger. What we found is a lot of times younger than 14-year-olds are on this particular site, and what tends to happen, there are rules and laws and regulations where if you're over 18, you're not supposed to be talking or conversing online with someone that's 14 or younger. However, it's very hard to keep track of that.
So really, MySpace is anything but MySpace. It's actually a space that is shared by many people. Talking about these sexual predators and what have you on there, how do they actually police this internet website?
Well, John, that's a very, very good question. What they're attempting to do on MySpace, and also there's a book called Facebook, which is sort of the collegiate issue of MySpace. And a lot of times the organization, whether it's MySpace or Facebook, is attempting to keep track of it. If anyone sees anyone or senses that there's an issue, you definitely have to report it. That's one way they're keeping track of predators. Otherwise, it's very, very difficult to know who is responsible, who is not, who is legitimate, and who is not on these particular websites.
So always, Audrey, with these websites, better to put less information out there. That would be the safe bet, correct?
Yes, Sunny, that's exactly right. But unfortunately, that's not what's happening. They're putting more and more information. Young kids are, as I said, including pictures. And you know, obviously, you don't want to put anything illegal that you're doing on a website, because that can be very detrimental to your career and to your college education. So you have to be very, very careful. And parents, I would also recommend going on and checking the website and seeing what your kids actually have on and what their friends have on. That's a possibility for you to do. Get their address and get on there and just keep track of it. I think it's a good way just to monitor our children's behaviors.
As always, useful information on Consumer Tuesdays. Thanks, Audrey.
Thanks, John. Thanks.
And a reminder that Audrey is with us the same time every Tuesday right here on Pittsburgh CW with the latest in consumer news.